Welcome back for week 6 running strength training for beginners. In this workout, we're going to introduce just a few more new movements, but no equipment necessary. Workout is about 30 minutes long, and we will start with the warm-up. Here we go. 30 seconds each, starting with jumping jacks. Go. Warm-up's designed just to warm up the body, get the heart rate up, warm up the major joints of the body before runs, and also you want to do this before your strength training. Okay, after jumping jacks, we're going to go into toe walking, so get the heels nice and high off the ground, feel those calves working strongly for you, walking forwards and backwards, keeping the heels nice and high. Now let's switch to heel walks, and we'll go forward and backwards again, lifting the toes nice and high. Keep the front of the shins nice and activated, warm up those shin muscles. Now let's go back onto our toes. We'll do some side steps. So just do little shuffles, keep the heels nice and high. Get the calf muscles fired up. Now let's switch back to heel walking, side to side. Okay, now we're gonna go into some step overs. So picture a fence in front of your knee that you have to lift your leg up and over. Start with slightly less range of motion, and then as you get used to the motion, then try to go a little bit greater with the circles. Now let's do some backward step overs, so same thing, stepping up and over the fence. Now let's go right into our A skip, so you can skip in place, drive your knee up nice and high towards the chest, and switch. Or if you have the space, then you can add some movement to it. Trying to drive the knee nice and high. Now we're going to switch into ice skater, so we're going to jump the length of our mat from side to side. So the back leg swings behind the lead leg, the stance leg. Here we go. You can start with smaller jumps, and as you get into it, try jumping the full length of your mat. And try going a little bit faster as you get into it. Keep going. Okay, shake that out. And then we're going to end with a figure 4 run. So you're just going to run in place, you're going to lift your thigh up and your heel up. So every single time, think about making a figure 4 with your legs. Here we go. This helps get us used to just lifting the leg up during the recovery phase of the running stride. Help maintain easy momentum while running. Okay, that does it for the warm-up. Now let's go into our core strengthening. We're going to do glute bridges into hip abductions, Copenhagen plank, hamstring march, and we're going to end with a plank variation. So let's start on our backs. We're going to start with some single leg glute bridges. So lift one leg up, and let's keep our core engaged, press towards the mat. And here we go. Lift up and squeeze through the back of the hip every single repetition. 10 reps. Make sure you're getting proper height each time. Goal is the shoulder, the hip, and the knee should be in a straight line at the top of the motion. Strong squeeze through the glutes. This is a glute bridge. You shouldn't really feel it many other places. Okay, let's switch sides. Same thing, 10 reps. Now let's switch to a side lying position. So you're going to keep your arms straight underneath the shoulder. Bottom leg is going to be bent at the knee, using the knee as support. Top leg straight, slightly out in front, and you're going to raise your leg up and back slightly. Should squeeze the side of the hip muscles every single time you're at the top of this motion. Go ahead and go, 10 reps each side. Strong squeeze at the top. I aim for about 30 degrees behind the body. That's about as far back as you need to bring the leg. Let's switch sides now. So same thing, arm straight on the shoulder, bottom leg bent, top leg straight, raising up and back. 10 reps. Now we're switching into a Copenhagen plank. So let's go on our forearms. So it's like a side plank, bottom leg 90 degrees at the hip, 90 degrees at the knee, top leg nice and straight. Now you're gonna press down from the top foot and the forearm to lift your body off the ground and hold. So this works the oblique muscles of the core, but also works your adductor or the groin muscles of your inner thigh. Keep the hips nice and high. Now let's switch sides. Same thing, top leg straight, bottom leg 90 at the hip, 90 at the knee. Pushing from the forearm, here we go. And hold, keeping the pelvis nice and high. Feel the obliques working, feel the top leg, inner thigh working. Okay, come out of that. Now we're going to go into a hamstring bridge march. So lay on your back, heels a couple feet out from your hips, dig your heels into the ground and lift your hips up off the ground. Now hold this position and you're going to alternate lifting legs. Here we go. Every time you lift up, the leg that's still on the ground has to work extra hard to maintain that position. Keep your hips nice and high. You don't want your hips to dip every time you lift the leg up. Try to hold a nice stable position. Keep going. You should start really feeling those hamstrings burn as you get towards the end of this exercise. Okay, shake it out, kick them out a little bit. And final core exercise, we are going to go into a high plank position. And these are called plank up down. So you're going to start in a high plank position and then you're going to lower down onto your forearms into a low plank position, and then you're going to keep repeating that. And you want to minimize the amount of rocking side to side or bending through your spine as you do it. Here we go, onto the forearms, press back up, onto the forearms, press back up. Trying to maintain a nice stable position through your hips, through your core. Keep going. If you find that you're a little too wobbly, you can get your feet a little wider for a wider base of support. Almost done. And then on the last rep, we're going to hold into a high plank position. So now let's hold, and we're going to go into mountain climber. So let's bring the knee up towards the elbow. Maintain a nice tight position through the core and the hips. Try to minimize the rocking and bending through the spine. Knee up to the elbow. Okay, nice little burn at the end of the core work there. So now let's switch into our strength circuit. We're going to do hip thrust, single leg, go into push-ups. We're going to do a 3-position single leg deadlift. We're going to do standing mid-back work, and then we're going to go into a curtsy lunge and end with a single leg calf raise. So for the single leg hip thrust, if you have a chair or a couch or a bench, that's going to make it easiest to perform. Get your shoulder blades across the bench or the chair, one leg off the ground, and then you're going to dip the other hip towards the ground and press all the way up into a nice straight position at the top end of the motion. 10 reps each side. Think about keeping your rib cage down as you come up all the way to the top. You don't want that rib cage flaring. You don't want to arch through the lower back. Just press firmly through the back of the hip each rep. Should really feel the glutes work during this exercise. Okay, let's switch sides. 10 reps, here we go. Strong squeeze at the top. All right, now let's get into a push-up position. So you can do it from the knees or do it from the feet. Here we go, 10 reps. Keeping your body nice and stable as you go through the full push-up. All right, now let's go to a standing position. We're gonna do a 3-point or 3-position single leg deadlift. So with this one, you're going to stand on one leg and the lead leg is gonna be doing all the work. You're gonna bend through the hip, sitting your hip back and down to engage the glutes and the hamstrings with this motion. And you're gonna aim for 3 positions. So you're going to turn your body about 20 degrees to the outside part of the leg, reach down, then you're going to do a movement straight on, and then you're gonna do the last move 20 to 30 degrees on the inside part of the leg. And you're gonna go in and out of those 3 positions. Keeping your body nice and stable each time, really feeling the hamstring and glute work. So here we go. We're gonna do 4 rounds of the 3 movements. Keep going. You got 2 more rounds left. Think about keeping that foot completely flat on the ground, equal pressure throughout the foot. Try not to allow your foot to rock side to side while you're doing these. Keep it going. Last rep. Oh, lost my balance a little bit. That's okay. And if you do lose your balance, it's all right. Just get right back into it. Now let's switch sides. So aim for 20-30 degrees outside of the leg, straight on, and then 20-30 degrees towards the inner part. And you might find one side is more challenging than the other. It was definitely harder on the right side for me, and that's where I tend to have some issues with some stability through the hip. Okay, one more round. Okay, now we're going to go into a standing retraction exercise for the mid back. So you're going to stand, feet about hip width apart. You're going to sit your butt back and down like you're doing a deadlift. Think about a rope pulling your head up towards the ceiling, keeping the butt pressed back the whole time, so elongating the spine, arms in an A position or 30 degrees away from the body, and you're going to squeeze the shoulder blades back. Do 10 pulses, and now we're going to bring it up into a T position, maintaining that same posture, arms at shoulder height, squeeze back, shoulder blades together, 10 reps. Now we're going to go into another new movement, the Curtsy Lunge. So with this one, it's an excellent exercise to work the side hip musculature. So you're going to step back and to the side, and the lead leg is where you should feel the work. So let's try it. So we're going to alternate sides. So step back and down, back and down. The lead leg, think about keeping the knee over the ankle. You should feel the side of the glutes working and a strong stand to finish the movement so you feel those glutes contract. We're doing 10 each side, 20 total. All right, last exercise, we're gonna do single leg calf raises. So you can do this with some support, so you can grab onto a chair or put your hands on a wall while you do it, but single leg squeezing at the top end of the motion, press through your big toe, really feel the back of the lower legs working. Shoot between 10 and 20 reps. Main thing is the quality of the motion. Try to just really press through the big toe, make everyone count. Get as high as possible. Okay, that's round one. Take a little bit of a break, grab some water if you need to, and then we'll go through that 2 more times. Okay, so let's start round 2. Let's get back into the single leg hip thrusts. And here we go, 10 reps each side. And if you don't have an elevated surface, you can just do single leg bridges on the ground, that's fine. Strong squeeze at the top, keep the rib cage down, keep the core engaged. Press through the hip, not through the lower back. Keep it going. Okay, let's switch sides. Let's do 10 more on the other. And the single leg is nice because you might find one side's more challenging than the other. So it's an opportunity to work out some muscle and balance. Okay, let's go into our push-up. So starting from a high plank position, do the push-ups from the toes, or if you need to, drop down to your knees, 10 reps. Now let's stand back up and let's do the 3 position single leg deadlift. So again, lead leg's doing all the work, sitting back and down to the hip so you feel the glute and hamstring working. 3 different positions, here we go, 4 rounds. So reach to the outer part of the leg, reach straight on, and then reach across midline. Keeping the foot equal pressure on the ground. Try not to let the foot, ankle wobble side to side. One more round. Okay, switch sides. Do 4 rounds on the other leg now. Here we go. Outer, straight on, cross midline. And this is just level 1 of this exercise. This is something where you can hold on to some dumbbells or kettlebells, make it more challenging, but starting off, Just getting used to the motion, the coordination is plenty. Okay, now we're going to go into the standing mid-back exercise. So feet hip width apart, set the butt back and down, elongate the spine, think about pulling the head towards the ceiling. A position, squeeze the shoulder blades together, 10 reps. After 10 reps, go into the T position, 10 more. Whole time sitting back into the hips while extending through your spine. And then now we're going to do the alternating curtsy lunge. So stepping back and down and alternating sides. Try to keep the knee above the ankle for that lead leg. On a few of these reps I was going just a little bit too far, so just try to keep the knee above the ankle. You should feel your glutes, particularly the side glute muscles of that lead leg working for you. Strong squeeze of the glutes when you get up to the standing position. And if you need to, you can slow this motion down. I know I'm going at a relatively quick tempo, but please slow it down if you need to so you feel the muscles working. And then final exercise, going back to the single leg calf raise. 10 to 20 each side. Here we go. And again, quality over the quantity. So press up through the big toe, get your heel as high as you can each rep. And after 10 to 20, switch sides. All right, when you're done with the second leg, then take a little break. Grab some water, and then we'll start our third round. Take as long as you need between rounds. Make sure you get some water. Just rest for a little bit. Feel free to hit pause, and then you can start again once you feel a little bit more recovered. I'm going to get into the third round here. So when you're ready, start with the single leg glute bridges. Do 10 on each side. Here we go. Last round, make each rep count. If you start getting tired, you need to stop before the 10 reps, that's okay. We're going for quality over the quantity. Now switch sides, 10 on the other leg now. Full extension each time, strong squeeze at the top of the motion. All right, after the second set of 10, let's go into push-ups. So keeping the body nice and stable the whole time, 10 reps. And if you need to, go onto your knees to finish the reps, that's okay. Now we'll go to our final round of single leg deadlifts, 3 positions. So we'll go outside the leg, straight on, and cross midline. Here we go. 4 rounds, each leg. And you might find this last round is a little bit more challenging to stay stable. I know I was having a harder time keeping my foot nice and flat on the ground for this final round. But do your best to hold that position. Every time coming back up to standing, really squeeze the glute and hamstring. Feel that whole posterior chain work for you. Now let's switch sides, 4 rounds on the other leg. Let's go. Go outer, straight on, and then cross midline. I was starting to struggle with this one. Definitely getting tired in the hip muscles and the hamstring. Okay. Now we're going into the final round of the mid-back strengthener. So sitting the butt back and down, standing nice and tall through your head, pump the arms back in the A position, 10 reps. Squeeze the shoulder blades each time. Think about elongating the spine. And then go up into the T position, shoulder height, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Sitting the butt back and down while thinking about bringing the head towards the ceiling. Squeeze each rep. Now we're gonna finish the last round of curtsy lunges here. So alternating legs again, swinging the leg back and down. Lead leg does all the work. And try not to plop the knee down when you bring the leg back and down. Nice, slow, controlled as you go towards the ground. But that will work on a little bit more muscle recruitment and tension into the muscles versus just collapsing down on the ground. All right, hard stuff's over. Let's just finish with some calf raises. So single leg, 10 to 20 reps. Make each rep count, push all the way through the big toes, heel as high as you can go each rep. Okay, switch sides after your 10 to 20. Final exercise, here we go. All right, that does it for the strengthening. Now let's go to the cool down. So we'll do a glute and figure 4 stretch into a hip flexor and hamstring stretch. And then any other stretches that you find useful, you can do those to finish the session. So let's do a figure 4 position, rotate your hips towards the ground and use that bottom leg to push your leg up into a deeper stretch. You can use your hand to pull on the knee or push on the knee, whatever initiates a stronger stretch on that outer glute area. Now let's go back to midline. Keep that figure 4 position. Use your hand to push the thigh away so we get some of those deeper hip rotators to loosen up. Now let's switch sides. Figure 4 position. Let the legs fall towards the ground. Use that bottom leg to push the leg up higher if you need to feel a deeper stretch. You can reach up, grab the knee, and push or pull the knee, whatever initiates a stronger stretch. Hold it there. Should feel a nice strong stretch on this side of the glute or the glute max. And let's work it back to starting position and then use your hand to push the knee away. Get those deeper hip rotators to loosen up. Now let's go into a kneeling position. We're going to do a hip flexor stretch. So the back leg is where we're going to be focusing on the hip flexor stretch. Reach up towards the ceiling on that same side. Lean your body forward. Squeeze the glute on that same side. You should feel a nice strong stretch in the front of the thigh and up into the abdomen slightly. You can tilt your body away from the side you're stretching to try to increase that abdominal stretch. Then after you hold that, then rock your hips back. Keep a slight bend in that lead leg. Lean your body forward. You should feel a nice hamstring stretch. Now we'll switch sides, do the hip flexor stretch on the opposite leg. Lean forward, squeeze the glute, reach up towards the ceiling, tilt away from the side you're stretching. Should feel a hip flexor stretch in the front of the thigh and up into the abdomen. And then we'll rock back towards the heel, keep a bend in that lead leg at that knee, and lean your body forward so you should feel a nice hamstring stretch. And we'll end with this position. So this concludes our week 6 strength training for runners. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, share it with your friends. We will be releasing more strength videos for runners, intermediate, expert level strength sessions, and we'll also be releasing a series of core conditioning as well. So please stay tuned, and we'll see you guys on the next video.